The first thing to do with sailing is know where the wind is coming from. But we can see right now everything we're doing today, the wind is coming off of that green gazebo on that pier. That's pretty much south-southwest. So to set sail, grab my main sheet, pull the sail out, get it to unfurl. So sheet in, and we're sailing. Got lucky there. That's actually a pretty good sail trim. See how the inside telltale is dancing and the outside is parallel? Let's get a little speed and see if we can do a tack. Right now the wind's off our left, so we're on a port tack. What I'm going to do is try to get a little speed and see if I can get it to go through the wind and come out on the other side. On the Hobie, if you get hung up, you can always cheat. So while we're getting ourselves organized here, get my weight shifted, split the pedals so that they're not providing drag, we're just sailing. Today, with this light boat, it may be hard to sail on a close hauled position close to the wind because I'm not going to be able to trim the sail in tight enough to sail that high. So now I'm on between a beam reach and a close reach. See if I can get it a little better trim. See if I can get my weight out far enough to counterbalance all this wind we got. So that's actually a pretty good trim. If you see there, you can see I've got the outside telltale parallel and the inside one's doing a little dance for me. On a really strong windy day like this, I may not be able to get up and sail with enough speed on even a close reach to effectively tack it through the wind. But as I said, on the Hobie, if I need to, I can kind of cheat. We're doing 3.5 miles an hour, so I'm not setting any speed record right now. Work our way to the east here and come back on a port tack and see if we're running a little bit with the current, if we can't get a little better speed. But you can see the wind right now is really working the boat pretty hard. And I have to pay attention if the wind changes. We talked on the previous video about weather helm. Right now, weather helm can work in my favor because if I get out here clear of the other housing track and I get hit by a really strong gust, I'll just let the boat pop up into the wind and kill the heel of the boat so I don't get knocked down. I can also control that by letting out on the main and spilling some of the lift in the sail. There, we saw a little weather helm there, and that was maybe me chickening out some, but it was mostly the rudder didn't have the ability to deal with it. So I've got myself in a little awkward position here in that I'm sideways to the swells and carrying a lot of pressure on the sail. So in a moment, I'm going to want to tack and come back, maybe see if I can't get a little more bow to the swells. There's 4.2 miles an hour. That was weather helm, and also I kind of let it round up when I felt that I was losing control there. So we're doing 4.1 miles an hour. I'm a little ugly on my sail because I'm managing the heel of the boat. My wind has shifted a little. That's what's going on. Let's turn into the wind a little, sheet in a little. See if we can get this bad boy flying. That was weather helm rounding me up there. I ran out of rudder. Yeah. I'm just going to do a powered tack here. So I can get myself on the correct, my weight correct. We'll see what happens when we come back this other way. There we go. See if we're a little better angled to the swells, maybe we can carry a little more sail pressure without losing control of the boat. Doesn't really want to sail high on the wind, so whoa. See if we get some control over it. See if I can get this thing to sail. Use the telltales for sail trim. You can look at what the sail's doing, but you can also look at what the hull is doing. If the hull's starting to accelerate, making a burbling noise, you hear the water running faster underneath it and across it, you see your bow wave moving aft, whatever you did was good. If the boat sped up, what you did caused the boat to slow down, like right here, I trimmed in on the sail, that probably wasn't good technique. Yeah, I'm a little too close to the wind. Let's fall off just a little. Fighting weather helm right now. One of the unique things about the Hobie sail kit is on bigger, more sophisticated boats, you quite often have a backstay tensioner to bend the mast, and that gives you a little better sail shape in these stiff wind conditions. Notice when I tighten the main sheet on a Hobie sail, it kind of puts a nice little bend in the mast, and the top of the sail shifts forward. two ways you can control sail trim in a boat. One is you can hold a constant heading and let out on the sail, sheet in on the sail until you get the right trim by changing the tension on the main sheet or jib sheet, depending on which sail you're trimming. The other is you can set a trim setting with the sail and steer the helm. I'm heading up, I'm losing the sail, so I fall off, refill the sail. This sometimes, when you're going a long distance or struggling like we are here with as much as we're getting work, sometimes this is the better technique to use when you're really working hard to stay ahead of the boat and dealing in stronger conditions like we have here. So I've just set a kind of a close reach type trim, and I'm trying to keep the bow on it. And as the wind changes, I steer up or steer down to keep my sail filled. A little disappointed in my speed. I would expect with this strong of a wind, I'd be going faster. But one of the situations you encounter in a condition where you've got a lot of wind and it's more wind than your sail is suited for, and you don't have the ability to furl it or to reef it, is figuring out ways in sail trim to kill some of that lift actually makes the boat more efficient. You're not using as much rudder to hold the helm under control, and the amount of the portion of the sail that is producing lift is doing a better job of it. So part of my situation here, I think, is back there where I was really working. Let's see if we can, where the wind is. Head up. Ah, there it is. So back there where I was really working, I was getting plenty of power out of the sail, but it was pulling me sideways rather than forward. Now I could center the Mirage Drive pedals and use the fins as a keel. That helps some, but most of the correction you get in a Hobie Outback is coming from the hull itself. When the chine digs in, that's what converts your sideways force to forward energy. Tacking. What I'm going to try to do now is demonstrate using the Mirage Drive along with the sail to motor sail. We're between a beam reach and a close reach. The wind's coming from there. I've sheeted in on the sail and I'm pedaling with the drive. We have 4 miles an hour. With a tighter sail, I think. Now, some people complain a Hobie Outback is wet, water coming over the bow. Well, let's face it, when this kind of a chop, you're going to get wet in a kayak. Notice most of that water comes over the bow is deflected outboard and sideways, and what little comes in over the hatch ends up going down the Mirage Drive well. On my to-do list for the sail series of this channel, I've got to make my own furler. This Hobie furler keeps letting me down, particularly in strong winds like we have today. Now I'm close hauled. Four miles an hour. Close reach. Get my trim organized. Axis more of a beam reach. 3.7. So back there I was probably close reach going to a beam reach, and today the Hobie appeared to be faster on the close reach. Let's go back up to that position of sail again. Weather helm is trying to pop the boat into the wind. So right now, being a one-arm paper hanger controlling this, if I get hit with a knockdown, I'm just going to pitch it up into the wind and let it come down rather than try to let out on the main sheet. .9, 4 miles an hour. That's a nice stance on that telltale there. 4.3, 4.2. All right, so let's do us another little tack, and I'm going to call it a day because it looks like it's going to start raining off there in the west. Go back to just sailing. Wind's kind of off my left shoulder, so we're looking at a beam reach. Make like a cruising sailor, life's a reach. A little. We're on a broad reach to a broad run. Now we're going to run before the wind. Sailboat, you'd have a whisker pole out here, so you get that sail out and get it to drive more. Today, with as strong as the wind is, we're getting as good of a speed on a run as we were beaten to weather. Let's see if we can run a little more without actually jibing. because this furling kit just fought me no end on the way out setting sail, I've lost confidence in it. So I'm going to park the boat on a sand beach over here rather than take it back into the marina where I'm dealing with all the boats that are on the slips in the marina and the slip pylons and all of that. Err on the side of judgment and safety. And we're just going to sail the boat back to this beach. I have to be careful because it's shallow water right now. And my Mirage Drive may end up dragging bottom. So I think I'm going to split the fins so they're available if I need them. Trying to get a little bit clear of the entrance piers and then slide in by hardening up slightly and then luffing the sail to control my speed. So let's see what we can do here. 3.2 miles an hour. Some of that's the benefit of being down current. This is a 2019, so kick-up fins didn't exist when I bought this boat. Right now in this situation, they'd be nice to have.